right. Welcome. Today we are with Sally Lawson in her home, in her actual studio, where she creates all these, her nest, where she creates all these fabulous, beautiful, and very colorful pieces of art that we get to appreciate and sell at Crossroads Art Center. And she, previous to this, did an interview with Olivia. So I'm going to use some cheat notes on that. And one of the things that stuck out to me was when you said that you were a late bloomer. So talk about that.
Okay, I was a very late bloomer. I think I lacked a lot of confidence growing up. When I look back at it, I always did something creative. I sewed, I cooked. As I got older, I helped people decorate. I didn't major in interior design, but people were always saying, "Can you help me with this room?" So I would help them, and then I got into floral arranging and Christmas decorations and that kind of thing. So I always had some sort of creative outlet, even though I didn't realize that was a need in me, but it really was. And I've often wondered why I didn't have the confidence to pursue something like that when I was younger, and kind of thinking that my father was in the furniture business, and so we were surrounded with all these interior designers and people, very creative people, and he'd say, "Oh, he's just unbelievable, so I thought that was for somebody else. I never thought I can do that, that's for me. So I went on and I was a nurse, which is kind of a joke. I really shouldn't have been. I mean, I do care about people, but I was not a very good nurse, I don't think. And anyway, so I got married, retired from nursing, had 3 kids, continued to pursue these things that I liked. And then when my oldest child was a few years away from going to college, I had 2 others coming along, but I started thinking, what am I going to do when my kids are grown? And all of a sudden I thought, I think I can paint. And so I just thought, I'm going to give it a try no matter what. And I was so excited, and I went to my first class. I'd called the teacher and said, I've never done any painting. I don't know anything about brushes, mediums. Is this class for me? And she said, oh, sure, come on. So I went, and the first day she had set up, it was right after Christmas, and she had set up this kind of ugly still life with the fake poinsettias and a red vase and all in red, and it was, anyway, I didn't get into it particularly, but she said, everybody paint. And I was like, I don't know where to begin. What do I do? And so I went over to her, and she said, oh, okay, well, you prime the canvas and then blow it dry, and then you just make a little sketch. Well, I hadn't even done that. So I came home just devastated because I had been so excited. And I think I went back 1 or 2 times and then just really started painting on my own. I thought, if she's not telling me what to do, so I'll try to figure it out. So I painted a long time just on my own, and then started taking a lot of classes and workshops and stuff. And
well, I think that's it. For me, I know practice makes perfect.
yeah,
It really does. Working your craft, working your art, you learn so much from your mistakes.
yeah.
At least I did.
Oh, me
for
too.
Sure.
Me too. Somebody told me a long time ago, and she was speaking to the Bonnier group, and she said, the best way to learn how to get good is just paint. And she said, I paint 2 hours every day. I don't care if it's Christmas. I don't care if we're out of town. It doesn't matter. I'm there painting. I think that is the best way to learn.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
And to change the subject, you are very much known for your bright colors that you use, which I love bright colors as well. And tell me what you feel about those bright colors. What does that make you feel when you're painting these bright paintings?
That's interesting, because I've had instructors say, gray it down a little bit. Don't forget your grays. Don't forget your grays. And so I do try to put some grays in there and mute some of them. But if I do it too much, I'm just not sad. I just don't like the painting. So I go back and I keep amping up a little bit. I guess that it just makes me happy. I don't know. I'm not satisfied with the painting if it's dull or if there are areas that are, which other artists would love. You know, I know I'm probably too bright for some people, but that's the way I like it.
As they say, to each his own.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what makes your paintings the way that they are. It's the individual artist putting themselves into it, and you are the bright and colorful.
Yeah, I mean, I see other art that is in these muted tones, and they're really cool. They're great looking, but I just can't paint them. You know, it just doesn't come out of me. Period.
I understand. I understand. And one of the things that Olivia asked you, you said there is a verse that you saw that focused on the scene, the unseen, and not the seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I thought was fabulous.
Yeah, that's kind of what I live by. I mean, my faith is really important to me, and there is a verse somewhere that says, keep your eyes on the unseen and not the seen. And to me, that's talking about how temporary all of this is. You know, this world is great, but it's not going to last, and their eternity is coming. And I want to live a life that has eternal meaning, really. And so when it comes to my painting, I want people to love them. I want people to enjoy them. I want to encourage people. I put a Bible verse on the back of every painting. And for me, everybody needs a little encouragement. And that's what I try to put on there. So if I can leave this world thinking that's what I've left, not so much the painting, but the emotions I brought about, then that I'll feel satisfied.
And I will end that with amen. I think that's perfect. I think that's appropriate. That's appropriate. So tell us about the piece that you have that you're working on and the inspiration for that.
Well, it's kind of out of my head.
All right.
That's a lot of my things. I mean, I will take a picture and maybe do a little sketch of the composition and then put it away to do the more realistic ones like down there and some of the others. I mean, I paint that way too. But then my more whimsical ones, I call them, I just do out of my head, and it's mostly about color, you know, more than, and shape, but it's really all about the color. Like this one, I keep looking at it and thinking, I keep changing the background. You know, I keep thinking this one isn't quite right. I haven't really figured out what is right. But anyway, I started on those, and I'm kind of working on them together. And it's really just having fun. I mean, that's what I want this to be. It's just fun. And then hopefully people get that same feeling with it. But
harkening back to the floral arranging.
Yeah.
So you've probably arranged so many different flowers in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And that, I'm assuming, gives you some inspiration for you when you remember maybe arranging some of the flowers, and that is the aha moment.
That's true. I really hadn't even thought about it that way, but I kind of know how to do a floral arrangement, so that helps with the composition of these things. And then I just kind of take it from there. The painting just kind of leads me. You know, I start on it, and then I think, well, it needs a little of this, and it needs a little of that. And to me, to paint intuitively like that is the most fun way. It's very restricting when you are trying to be super realistic. And there's so many wonderful realistic painters that they go outside and they capture every little shade, and that's great. But I just don't have as much fun painting like that.
Well, I think that we need all types of painters in the world.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it go round.
Oh yeah. When I look at these super realistic things, I think it's amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. But I can't paint that way. You know, it just doesn't happen for me. I paint fairly quickly because, again, I like that. I just like to go fast, and I think my work looks better when I do. Couple of days, and then, like I said, I will just keep looking at it until I see things I don't like or what I do like, and just kind of analyze it. And the painting just sort of leads me. I don't really plan them out. I just start. I'll have an idea. Like I adore this color. I use that a lot, and so I knew I wanted a bunch of that. This one, I thought I wanted a mixed colors, so I just sort of started on it, and then one thing leads to the next, and voila. Well, like we said, just paint. Just start in it. Just do it. Do it consistently. Like I'm working on the 7th grandchild here, and I bring them in here, and one of them will do something, and I'll say, well, you might want to. He said, no, I know how to do it. And I keep telling him that you have to practice anything. I don't care whether it's football or whatever you want to do. Just you got to practice, 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 and you'll get better and better. And try to be confident with it. Just think, I can do it, and go do what you can with it. I guess.
I think that's perfect.
One thing I read or somebody told me is that the only difference between an artist and a non-artist is that the artist wanted to be one. Anybody can learn to paint, but it's the artist that wants to do it that does it and succeeds. So that's probably the only difference.
That's perfect. Okay, so we want to thank you for having us in, Miss Sally. This has just been fabulous.
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
It's always a great visit when we get to see where people work and how they work and what they've got in process. So thank you for inviting Ron and I in, and we're excited to have you at Crossroads Art Center.
Oh, well, you're most welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm flattered.